that communication, but then also making sure that we are all on the same page about what supports are available, what we can put in place to try to help. We have a countywide truancy committee that meets twice a year. We review policies, and we have a liaison with juvenile court. And those attendance trainings that I mentioned, that liaison has been coming to those trainings. And just last week, we talked about, hey, maybe we need to include that countywide team in on some of these trainings so that they understand all of the things that you all are doing, so that as they're talking with parents, they can also say, well, did you know about? Did you hear about?
Front Porch is sponsored by the courts, and we also have some staff from a variety of agencies, but including the school system that's there. And we're referring those students ahead of trying to get them into the court system. So it's like one more layer of, we pull them in for a formal assessment. We give them the opportunities to tell us what's going on. So what services can we offer you? And we just need the family to take advantage of that. And sometimes people don't always see as what we're doing is trying to be supportive. They kind of feel like maybe we're backing them into a corner. So I think it's that information on the front end, like, we want to try to see if we can help you solve this problem. And I also think too that you have to think about the families where they're at, right? So if I'm telling you the kids got to get to school, the kids got to get to school, and the family has all these things, and now I'm also saying, and now I want you to go get assessed to see if we can help you. Sometimes that too feels overwhelming. I think when you have a lot of things going on in your life, and if you're struggling to make ends meet, or adding one more thing to the plate can still sometimes feel overwhelming. But I think what the court wants to do is do everything they can by the time we bring the parent, if we get to that point, to make sure we've exhausted all the resources and truly that the last resort is court.
Fulton Juvenile Court and Atlanta Public Schools and Fulton County Schools have historically worked really well together on the issue of chronic absenteeism. Even from my early days, there was a wonderful relationship between school social workers, probation, the Truancy Intervention Project staff. And so it really was a team effort to kind of figure out what was going on in those cases. So over the years, even though the law has changed and things are kind of, they look a little different than they used to. Atlanta Public Schools and Fulton County Schools still works really closely with the court in other capacities. Our court has a Pathways project that looks at minimizing the types and numbers of cases that come from school systems for some of the minor offenses that the court sees, to really encourage the schools to address some of the lesser offenses at the school level. I try to keep adversarial positioning out of these collaborative settings, because they have to be collaborative. We know that everybody has a role to play, and they have other things that they have to consider: the safety of other students, the safety of the school building, those kinds of things. And so having people at the table who come ready for solutions and not to point fingers and kind of place blame, when you ensure that that is the setting in which you are operating, and really to be exclusive of those who can't operate under that. I've had to kind of say to folks, this might not be the group for you, because we're not here to fuss and fight and argue. We are here to get to creative solutions that will work for our children.